template theme development that we were doing based on Pretty Docs template using WordPress MVC framework on version beta. This is beta version. So I told you in the previous session, I was going to make some quick changes. So some stuff works great in the site, and it's much easier for you guys to develop stuff in the site and add to facilitate your development process. Most likely, those are the changes. So the first change I want to highlight is that previously yesterday we include this setting, this app.css file in our project. And the first change you will see is that I'm no longer using the the get directory URI that is the function from WordPress. As you can see, I'm using assets URL, which is property of the framework, and it you can point directly to your asset, indicating which you have to indicate either the directory that's being called from or the file, so it can identify correctly to which project that asset belongs to. So as I told you yesterday, I wanted to add a feature so this can be handled by the framework itself, and you don't have to create this WordPress enqueue and add manually the controller and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove this function completely, because I'm going to let the framework to upload the function by himself. So I remove this and I go to the main class and I'm going to remove this call as well. So what will happen is that if you look at the website and I refresh, you will see that there's no longer any asset. Well, I think there's asset because I'm enqueuing. Alright. So you will see that there's no longer any asset. So all our CSS is no longer being loaded. So how can I turn this on? Well, by default on the config app.php file, where all the configurations for your application are, this flag will be set as true by default, the out enqueue. And this what we'll do is that the framework will look at your assets and will look at for the CSS for the app.css and the JS folder app.js, and we'll out enqueue these files for you. So you don't have to worry about including them or anything. So you can leave the main like this, empty. You don't have to declare anything. Just make sure that with your assets, you call to gulp dev in this case. With gulp dev, you generate the app.css and app.js based on your raw files, your raw assets files that we discussed yesterday. In this case, we're using the less files that were provided by the template. So this will create and generate the app CSS, and by default, if this flag is turned on, is true, then the site will automatically by default load the asset for you. So as you can see, the asset is loaded and you don't have to worry about it. And I'm going to show you where is this information located. So you go over here. Where is it? If you go over here and you look at these applications, you will see somewhere we have our app being loaded, which is this one, app from WordPress MVC website, which is our namespace in lowercase, in lowercase, and a CSS. Right. Now the question is, what happens if I don't want to out enqueue and I want to enqueue the stuff or the assets by myself? Well, I can turn this off. And I can come to our IUCO and type PHP IUCO register, and we're going to register an asset. And we want to register the asset css/app.css. And what will happen is that in our main class, you will see this thing over here, this add asset css app.css. And if I reload this, now it's not, you can see that the file's already been loaded, is being enqueued, but obviously, as you can tell, is not being auto generated. We are defining it here. Now the good stuff, the cool stuff about defining it here is that I have extra functionality here. Like I can tell it not to enqueue I mean, if I add an asset and this flag, which is the second flag, that tells the framework to enqueue the file as soon as it registers to WordPress or not. So I can tell it to only to register. If I refresh this, the thing will not be loaded because the asset is being registered to WordPress, but it's not being enqueued. If I turn this on true, then I will have all the other variables that we can use as part of the inclusion, like the dependencies. Right, we can tell him, for instance, that we want to include jQuery as a dependency, and that we want to include this file on the footer of the site. With this flag over here, instead of including the file on the header, it will include it at the bottom of the page, and this file will be loaded after the whole site has been loaded. So let's try this on, and we refresh this, and let's see what happens. I think it's looking for the jQuery thing, and it's not finding the jQuery, so I'm going to remove the jQuery and try to do it like this. So you can see the thing is being loaded, but where it should not be, it's not in the head. I'm pretty sure it's not in the head because we're defining it as a footer, so it should be at the very bottom of the page. So scripts, sets, or I think it is being loaded at the beginning. Is it? Yes, it is. All right. But it should work like that. If you tell this true, then it will include it at the bottom. That's the idea. Alright, so we're going to remove this asset over here. So we're going to let the application load the asset automatically. So we don't have to worry about it. Even if we create a JS files, we don't want to mess around with that. And we're going to let the application load the asset for us. So we're going to save this and refresh this, and voila, we have all our assets, so we don't have to worry about it. So this is very easy and very comfortable to develop like this, because you don't have to worry about enqueuing things to WordPress, because in the background the framework is doing it for you. Alright, so the next thing I was talking about was the add model. So what happened is that we created a model. Let me recap on this. We created a model that will handle the page customizations, and I'm going to create another example though. Let's say I want to create a new IUCO create model. You want to create a model for the post. You want to add a new variable, a new functionality to post. So what I do is I call post, and then after that we type the post type. In this case should be post. This is for existing. This should be the way or the procedure that you have to follow if you want to create models based on existing post types. Because if you want to register a new post type, then you have to do a different command, which is register type. Then you type the post type. Like in this case, let's say we want to create a post type that is called product, and then we're going to handle that on the model product, and we're going to have automatization, and we're going to have all the logic and business logic handled on product controller. And we would type enter, and we go back to our project. You will see that now we have a product, and it's identified. It has a project name. We have a controller as well already created for us, and in the main class the product is defined. So that way is automatically defined. Also, you will see that in views I have now a meta box used for the project. Now I'm going to delete this because I don't want to use it. I'm going to show you the page though. Alright, so we delete everything in regards let me keep that. I want to use this in a little while later. So okay, so I deleted I deleted, sorry, the what is this, the product that we just created for testing purposes. And last week, or yesterday, sorry, we added the page. Now we want to register this page model, which is the one that we created. Now let's say again that we want to create a new model for an existing post type, which is post. So I type post IUCO register, no, create, in this case create model for a model called post. And by default, the default post type is always post. So I can type post here, or I can leave it blank because it will not affect at all. But for instance, an existing post type, which is attachment, you will need to define the post type, same as page. So you do page and the post type page. So we're going to create a post like this, post. To type enter, you will see that in our models, and now I have a post here, and you can see the type is not defined because by default it's always the post. And now I want to register my two applications. So I come over here, PHP IUCO register model, and we want to register first the page model that we created. So if we come to our main class, you will see that we have now the add model page, which is something that we deleted previously on the comments. Let me delete the post now, and I want to show you something. Alright, so by doing this means that the framework already, if I have this model over here, I'm indicating the framework that I want to have automatization for this model called page. In our model called page, we have different things that we defined yesterday. One was the register controller, which we are indicating which controller will handle all business logic and will handle all saving, all meta boxes and everything. And we also set where are we going to handle all our meta information, which will be a pretty docs format, the title of the meta box. And something that was not added yesterday, I had to add it today, is that in order for new or for existing post types such as post, page, or any other post type that comes or was generated by an external plugin, you might want to leave the registry as blank, because otherwise it will try to register the post type as a new post type, and this will cause duplicate in your menu. So you don't want that. And so in order to so once you add an empty array, which is what you need, this will register the post type and will create the automatization without, actually it will not register the post type, sorry, it will not register post type, but it will indicate to the framework that you want automatization for that post, for that model. So what happens with the automatization? Well, let me show you what happens. So if I come to the dashboard, and if I go to pages, and then in pages I'll go straight to, let me try to edit one of these pages, and you will see. So I have the index page over here. That's the one that we were using. Now you will see that I have a pretty docs format. This is the post type that is defined in the model. So I can change this, like maybe I can use like home page properties, and this will change in for this specific page type. But if you can see, there's no form here. So when you're registering a new post type, you will see that this view is created, which is the meta, and this is the default structure that you need to follow in order to add the meta box form for the automated model. So the way you have to do it is views admin meta boxes, then the post type, and then meta. So if I change this to page, which is the model that we're using, then it means that this form over here, which is the home properties, will be filled with this. And this is the this will auto generate fields for each one of the aliases that has the meta tag in it. So if I refresh this, you will see now that I will have a form for all the information that we have established in our page here in our aliases. So we don't have to care about anything. As you can see here, it's very straightforward. So last time we set up the header, so we type here WordPress MVC, we save here. All right, mode. Okay, so this means that here we have, since we created this page manually, we forgot about something. Mode. Wait a second. I might need to fix a bug that I just found on the framework. Wait a second. This is not something you might have to do. All right. So it should be on 10 quality. Remember this is on beta. There are bugs here. So pardon me if things are not working as proper as expected. While we do test everything. Mode. Where's the error being generated? Variable mode on model controller 98. Oh yes, there's a bug here. It should be model like this. All right, I will fix it on the package. Now if I refresh this, let's see. All right, so that was the error. So obviously you will not have to do this. It will come automatically with the package. So once that is, I mean, the only thing you have to worry about is this, filling this information out, and you will have, automatically this will save the properties to you. So you have to worry about coding anything regarding the documentation, I mean the code for this. So you can easily add new properties, very simple, very fast, to your types. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you that this works for any type of what is this? Any type of post type. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create again a model for post like this. I'm going to register my model post, and in our post here, where is it? Our post, post. And here in the post, we're going to copy the aliases. We're going to copy the aliases because we're going to add a new alias, which is, I will say like test maybe. And this will save the information on meta test. And we're going to delete this information over here. All right. And all right, so oh yeah, and obviously we need to add this information: the registry, the post that will which controller will handle the meta box, and well, yeah, you know, I don't know today. It will be a waste of time now. You know how to. I already show you what you have to do, right? You have to have these things over here in order to enable the automatization for the project. Now there are a couple of things I can do now that I have my project, my model already automated, and these things are already working fine. Wait a second, I might have to wait. I'll message on Slack. Wait a second, please. Right, so I have 20 more minutes to run this. Now, what we want to do, yeah, because I have they're requesting a meeting for me. All right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how you can customize this form and how you can jump in and customize information. For instance, if I come here on my page controller, and this is the one that is handling actually all the save functionality and all the what is this? All the meta boxes. So I can jump in to do something like this: public function on meta box, and this will pass me by the model that we're using. I can do something like this. Look at this. Echo. This is a test prior my form. If I run this, alright, post not found. Oh yeah, this is because we registered post here and we're not going to use post any longer. So if I refresh this again, yeah, I have this. This is a test prior my form. This means that even though I can even change the meta, the information that is in the model. Look at this. I'm going to print now the whole model and see what the model has. Look at this. Let's echo the pretext. This is just an example. Print R, and we're going to print the model to array, and let's see what happens. If I refresh this, I think I forgot a column. Yes. Here, let's refresh. Control to array. Is it to array? Model to array. Oh no, it's like this. Sorry, I think it's like this. Yes. So it is printing me the whole model I have here. Welcome, blah blah blah, and obviously it's passing me by all these. You see the properties, the aliases already defined. And I can jump also to the save functionality, like on save. And we can say that every time if, look at this, if model a header bold equals to test or to fill, we will always default it. We're going to default this to MVC. Always, no matter what. Defaulted. So what happens now if I refresh this, and instead of calling this MVC, we call fill, and we click on save. Look what will happen. It changed me to MVC defaulted. This means that I can trigger or jump in the modification of the data if I need to add something extra or change, add a different validation or something important that I need to add here prior on saving. I can do that by just easily changing this information here and jumping on save thing. It's very easy, very quick. And now let's say I want to change the form, actually the form that we're using to display the mate test. So what we have to do, let me open the page again. Let's have this in consideration, and I'm going to jump in and see the form that is located in here. The meta box is made up meta. This is the form actually that is generating our files. So what I want to do is I want to do this, but add them manually, right? Because cards, I'm going to handle cards differently, and I'm going to handle the message as an editor. So those two I don't want them to be handled like this. So what I'm going to do is maybe I can use the okay. So maybe I might have to create my form manually. So I want to copy this example over here and say, let's do the first one. Let me remove the for each and say, for instance, we have the header highlight, and the header highlight in this case uses model alias. In this case, okay, so the value is obviously model header highlight, and this is important. The name, if you want to use the auto saving functionality, is meta header highlight, which is, if we go to the our alias, is this one. So I can copy this one and paste it over here, and I can copy this alias and paste it over here. I was wrong. So if I refresh now, you will see that I would only use the header highlight. You can see this. Now let's copy this again, paste it over, use it for the bold section, header bold. I can even separate this information like this. Look at this. I can add maybe a title with H3, I think, and type like header settings. And later we can add the H3 cards. So we can separate the what is this, the blocks of, or the sections. And we are going to add our editor now. If I'm correct, let me remember, because I'm quite not sure if I remember how to add the editor, but it should be header message, no, tagline. What's tagline, right? No, message. We said we were going to change this to tagline, wasn't we? I think we did. Let's check. Let's go to the header. It was on header.php, and we had the highlight. Oh, it's not here. Sorry, it's on the home. No. It's on home page, and sorry, it's on views, pages, home page, and we define it as, where is it? The highlight tagline. Yeah, we changed this. It's not reflected on the page, so we're going to change this very easily, like this. All right, and we come over here and we do the same tagline, and obviously we're going to change this to a text editor, and I think it should be a text area. And how do I define this? I forgot completely how we have to define the editor. Text header highline, like that, and this name is header highline. Is it class editor? Is it like that? I don't remember. Or is double P editor, I think. Let me check it. Let me check. Because refresh this, we'll have the header settings and all the settings like this, text area, and the cards. And by the way, if we refresh this and we look at the page, for some reason it's not. Oh, is it because we have the app as, oh, why is that? Getting started. Yeah, the app just CSS being loaded. I did something that what's going on. I'll I'll check it out. Header tagline, page header height. It's not highlight, it's highlight like that. Page highlight, header highlight. Meta. Let me check. Wait a second. WordPress editor. Alright, seems like we have to call to this function over here. So we call to PHP WordPress WP editor. And as parameter, first of all, we pass the content, which should be the model tagline, like this. Then we can fill a lot of arguments, such as obviously the editor ID, which are going to define as header tagline. Then we have text area name as argument, so we're going to add this like this. Maybe multiple lines so it looks better, much cleaner. Wait, maybe like this. It's much cleaner. And the tagline will be meta tagline. Alright, let's see how this looks like now in our editor. Let's refresh this, and we have now an editor in our tagline. Perfect. WordPress update. Alright, let's make sure that this is working though. WordPress MVC framework is awesome. Let's update and check that it's working fine. It is saving information. Now on the cards we have a card title. We're going to add that as well. So copy this in cards. So let me copy the whole table. And on our cards we have something for title. And this is cards title. Cards title. Like that. No, wait. Also title, card title. You can change this because you highlight. Header, highlight, bold, tagline. And if we refresh this, best framework for themes and plugins. Let's save this information. And oh, we need to select the template, that's why. And here we have the homepage template. Let's update this information. And now if we go to our page, we refresh, we see the MVC, WordPress MVC framework is awesome. Best framework for themes and plugins, and get ready started is easy. The get started is easy from here. So we are going to remove that tagline over there. It has a title. We don't want the title. We don't want any of this, just mere text. Then the highlight is not being displayed somehow, so we have to figure out why. Is because if we go to our header, might be an issue here. Header highlight page highlight. Yes. We refresh. Right, WordPress MVC. WordPress MVC framework is awesome. Base framework for themes and plugins. Welcome to Pretty Docs. And as you can see, this has become, it is working fine. It's very simple the way I added extra functionality to my theme. This way you can see with quick steps how I easily created a form to fill out custom information like this. I added a WordPress editor, and I don't had to code anything in regards of making sure that to prevent the nonsense, to get the input from the request, to check what information is coming. No, the framework is doing everything for you, so you have to think about it. It does it already, and it's very simple. You don't need to create a specific like a very complex what is this? A very complex a form. You can easily use the default that comes with the framework, which is based on inputs, and it will work. Like for a very easy, quick customization, it will work fine. As you can see, it's very quickly, very easy. I added this information. Now I'm going to add the last one. Well, in regards of the cards, that's something very interesting. I might add that feature later because I want to use view in order to add multiple cards to our customizer there. So I will leave that for a later version because I want to work on other templates like the page template for all the documentation, stuff like that. And yes, I don't know where. Forgot. Sorry. Now we have the URL as well because we added this download URL here. So we have download URL. So let's say let's refresh this. So we have on our homepage settings our download button with the header, which has the tagline, whatever, the cards. We can close it because it works like a meta box. And on this version, we're going to quickly go to Quality's GitHub and I'm going to check the project, which is in beta state. There's no release, as you can see, and I'm going to copy. Let's check this. Let's copy the link for the download. And if we come to WordPress, wait, copy link address. We paste it here, right? It has the link, so you can save this information. If I go to our page, I don't know why the button's not here. Oh, it's not saving. Why it's not saving? Wait a second. Text download meta download URL model download URL net download URL meta little bug. Alright, let's copy paste it again. Let's refresh this before that. Let's paste it again. Let's update. And now we should have the button. Look at that. How nice this looks like. And I can even add more stuff here like images and stuff like that because I'm free to add whatever I want here in our tagline. So we can add another enter. This is awesome. Full editable text. I can save this and voila. Oh, it's not. Oh, right. So this is not being filtered, or it's not being saved as a PHP as a HTML. All right, so right, why is this done like that? Wait. Right, for some reason this is not being saved as an HTML. Alright, I have to check that bug over there because yes, want to save it as a HTML. Look at that. Alright. Alright, perfect. You can see we had made a great advance. I added the stuff that I wanted to add last time, and it's working fine overall. So that will be the update for today. Probably I'm going to do a for this weekly last stream tomorrow, if not probably on the weekend. And for sure, we're going to continue to finish this template by next week. And the framework release version 1 will be pretty soon. So keep in touch with me if you need to ask me any information, where to download it, where to use it. I will have to. I'm preparing also. Well, this page is preparing the documentation for the framework. I mean, it's the template to create and prepare the documentation for the framework, where you can have an idea of it on the previous version of it, which is never mind. Wait until it is released with all the documentation. Well, you guys have fun. See you later.